He stood at the door, keys in his hand, smiling like he had already won. "You leave with nothing," he said. "No money. No house. No dignity." I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I just picked up my coat. Because what he didn't know was who was coming to the door next. The sound of the door closing behind me was loud, even though I closed it gently. The house I had cleaned, cooked in, prayed in, and suffered in for 14 years was suddenly not mine anymore. The man who once promised to protect me stood inside, confident, calm, and cruel. His words were still echoing in my head. "You leave with nothing." His name was Daniel Carter. He was respected in public, admired by neighbors, and praised at work. People called him disciplined, successful, and strong. But behind closed doors, he was a different man. A man who believed control was the same as love. A man who believed silence meant weakness. My name is Angela Brooks. I am a black woman. I was 46 years old that night. And I had just been emotionally erased from a life I helped build. I walked down the porch steps slowly. The air was cold, but my body felt numb. I had no suitcase. No bag. Just my phone and the coat I grabbed from the chair. Daniel had made sure of that. Over the years, he slowly cut me off from everything. First my job. Then my friends. Then my family. He said it was, for our future. I believed him. I trusted him. I paid for that trust with silence. I remember the early days. Daniel was charming. He listened. He praised my intelligence. He said I was different. I was working as an administrative assistant back then, saving money, dreaming of starting my own consulting business one day. When we married, he told me I didn't need to work anymore. He said he would take care of everything. I thought it was love. I didn't know it was the beginning of dependence. Little by little, my world became smaller. He handled the finances. He controlled the accounts. My name was never added to anything important. When I asked questions, he accused me of being ungrateful. When I tried to speak up, he reminded me that the house, the car, the money, everything, was his. The abuse was never physical. That made it harder to explain. Harder to prove. Harder to leave. He used words like weapons and silence like a cage. He made me doubt my memory, my intelligence, my worth. And the worst part was how calm he always was while doing it. That night, the argument started over something small. I had asked to attend a community business workshop. He laughed. He said I was too old. Too slow. Too dependent on him. Then he said the words he had been holding back for years. "If you don't like it, leave. But you leave with nothing." I looked at him. I waited for my voice to come. It didn't. Not because I was weak, but because I was done begging. I walked out. What Daniel didn't know was that I had been preparing quietly. 3 years earlier, after one especially humiliating argument, I started documenting everything. I kept a private digital journal. Dates. Conversations. Emails. Financial records I could access. Screenshots. I attended free online classes at night while he slept. I reconnected with an old mentor through email. I didn't announce my growth. I hid it. Silence was my shield. I walked down the street until I reached the bus stop. I sat there for a long time. I didn't cry. I breathed. Then I made one call. "Hi," I said. "It's Angela. I'm ready." The next morning, I stayed at a small women's shelter. It wasn't fancy, but it was peaceful. For the first time in years, no one was watching me. No one was correcting my tone. No one was controlling my thoughts. That peace gave me strength. Over the next 2 weeks, I moved carefully. I met with a legal aid attorney. A black woman not much older than me. She listened. She didn't rush me. She didn't question my intelligence. She reviewed my documents and nodded slowly. "You're not leaving with nothing," she said. "He just thinks you are." What Daniel didn't know was that the house was partly funded by an inheritance my mother left me, money he convinced me to deposit into a joint account years ago. What he didn't know was that emotional abuse leaves patterns, and patterns leave evidence. What he didn't know was that control does not erase contribution. Then came the knock. It was a quiet afternoon when Daniel opened the door. He wasn't expecting anyone. Standing there were two people. A legal officer and my attorney. They handed him the papers. Notice of separation. Financial disclosure demand. Temporary asset freeze. Daniel's smile faded. For the first time, he wasn't in control of the conversation. Inside the house, he tried to act calm. But his hands shook. He called me later that day. I didn't answer. Over the following weeks, the truth came out. The accounts. The manipulation. The isolation. The lies. The court didn't see a confident man. They saw a pattern of emotional dominance and financial control. I didn't speak loudly. I didn't insult him. I just told the truth. In the end, I didn't take revenge. I took responsibility. For myself. I received my rightful share of the assets. I received back pay for funds misused. More importantly, I received my voice. 6 months later, I stood in a small rented office with my name on the door. Brooks Consulting Services. I helped women, especially women of color, understand finances, contracts, and personal documentation. I taught them how to protect themselves before they needed to escape. I wasn't rich. But I was free. Daniel lost more than money. He lost the illusion that silence means weakness. Sometimes people ask why I didn't scream that night. Why I didn't fight. I tell them this. Not all strength is loud. Some strength waits. Some strength watches. And some strength knocks when the time is right. If you've ever been told you are nothing without someone else. If you've ever been made small in a place you helped build. Remember this. Silence is not surrender. And the door doesn't always close forever. Sometimes, it opens with the truth. Moral of the story. Emotional abuse is real, even when there are no bruises. Patience combined with knowledge is power. And no one has the right to erase your worth, especially in silence.